Hello and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're going to review a fragrance from the house of Chanel. So we have another Les Exclusifs fragrance here, and the one that we have is Eau De Cologne, and this is what the bottle looks like. So this is part of their Les Exclusifs collection. And now the difference with this fragrance itself is that it's actually a Eau De Cologne instead of an Eau De Parfum or an Eau De Toilette. The Les Exclusifs collection used to be Eau De Toilettes. They reformulated into Eau De Parfums, and this is the only one that was remained or left alone because it's obviously an Eau De Cologne, and you can't make an Eau De Cologne and Eau De Parfum. If that makes any sense, you know, an eau de cologne or a cologne is a type of fragrance. It's not a fragrance, if that makes any sense. Because you'll hear people walk around the mall and they're like, can we get that cologne? And it's like, well, technically it's not a cologne. It's a parfum or an eau de parfum, but you're calling it a cologne. Anywho, that's just, you know, me being nitpicky. But this is eau de cologne, and this is what the bottle looks like. So this is the larger size. So just for comparison, this is a 200 ml or 6.8 ounce bottle. The other size that Chanel does offer with this fragrance is a 75 ml or 2.5 fluid ounces. So quite a bit, you know, this is quite a bit of a pricey fragrance itself. So with the Eau de Cologne, it's a little bit cheaper. If you were to get a 75 ml, so the size of this sycamore right here, it would cost you $275 US. And if you were to get this size here, which is a 6.8 ounce or 200 ml size bottle, it would cost you $400 US. So that is a lot of moolah. You're getting quite a bit of juice in here too, but it's a lot of money, you know, for a cologne. And I say that very kindly because I do like the Les Exclusifs collection thus far. There's quite a few that I actually want to review and purchase, but you know, they are kind of pricey. And I'm going to be completely transparent with you. This is not one that I was actually excited for or that I wanted to get. I have smelt it before when I worked for Chanel, and I was like, it's not impressive. It's not even cute. You know, the first spray that you actually get is a little bit not, it's just not the vibe, if that makes any sense. And I definitely, you know, was very shocked to find that there was a seller online that was getting rid of their, you know, Les Exclusifs collection. I did do my due diligence, that's that how you say it? And found out that they actually were legitimate fragrances, and I was able to buy this one. So mine is not brand spanking new, but if you really want to know what the actual packaging looks like when you buy a Les Exclusifs, this is a box. It's not impressive. I know, I get it. It's just a white plain box. You do get where it says Chanel at the bottom. You get your CCs up top. And then at the bottom, you're going to get the information of the fragrance, the batch code number, and all that stuff if you're really into that. I'm not really sure why people do the batch code things because at the end of the day, it's not like wine. It's not going to change very much. These are all chemical, you know, fragrances that go through a lab, and, you know, it's kind of hard to change from an actual formulation to another formulation when it's the same formulation, if that makes any sense. But anywho, I'm just, you know, getting lost in the details here. But this is what the packaging looks like. So really getting it up close and personal to you. This is a very beautiful, you know, transparent sized bottle. It is pretty big. It's pretty clunky. So if you're trying to travel, this is probably not going to be the one for you. Now, the top itself is very easy to take off. So if you're trying to decant this into little sprayer bottles, you can, or you can use that, of course. And it is very nice. It's a very heavy glass. Now, Chanel bottles themselves are not the most, you know, luxurious or expensive out there. It's not a secret. You know, the lid itself is nice too. It's, you know, your traditional lacquered black Chanel with a white CC on it. And then you also get your little double C's inside, if you can see that. There you go. I was trying to show you the double CC's inside, but it's not letting me show you. But there are two little CC's inside of it. That's how you know that your fragrance is an original. Now, this itself, because I know that Dior is a big comparison to Chanel. Chanel's fragrances don't have this made out of metal. Dior's are, for the most part, at least the ones from their La Collection Privé are like a metallized plastic, if that makes any sense. This one itself is just a plastic. It's not a metal. It's just plain plastic. So Eau de Cologne was launched in 2007, and the perfumer for this fragrance is Jacques Polge. So Jacques Polge is the mastermind of a lot of really great fragrances from the house of Chanel. So Coco Mademoiselle, Coco Noir. He's done quite a bit of really great fragrances for the house of Chanel, and this is one of them, of course. So the top notes are going to be bergamot, green notes, lemon, and citric fruits, which is very traditional. We are getting a cologne. So a cologne is typically a very light, fresh, airy type of fragrance. It's very zesty, very citricy. It sometimes has musk, it sometimes doesn't, but it's usually a combination of woody elements as well as citric elements, and that's how a cologne is formulated. So in the heart notes, we're going to get neroli as well as petitgrained and spices. So you do get a spicy element in here. You do get that very beautiful neroli in this fragrance itself. So I will say that neroli is what makes this fragrance the fragrance, essentially. In our base, we're going to get tonka bean as well as musk. So that musk in here is very nice as well. And that tonka bean is not really prevalent. It's just a little bit, it's a tiny bit that they put in here to warm it up just a tad bit and add a little bit of a sweetness to the fragrance itself. So what can I say about this fragrance? Now, it's a cologne. It's essentially a cologne. A cologne is a cologne. If you have smelt Acqua di Parma, if you've smelt other brands as colognes, it's a cologne. So the blueprint and the DNA of the type of fragrance is there. Like I said, it's usually fresh. It is going to have the citric element. It's going to have some musk in it. It's going to have some nice woody elements and some spices in it to really kind of contrast and balance each other out. But it's going to be mainly focused on the citric notes itself. And this one is, what that is essentially. So it is very true to the cologne definition. Neroli really adds a nice Chanel and type of French essence to it. This fragrance itself really reminds me of Platinum Egoist, but in a more refined, more tasteful manner, because Platinum Egoist can be a little bit harsh at this point. So Platinum Egoist, if you don't know, is a fragrance that is for men for Chanel. And that fragrance itself has been around for quite a hot minute. Now, the thing about that fragrance is that it can come up a little bit too much at this point. For the new generation, it's going to be a little bit too sharp, a little bit too much in your face. And this fragrance itself, Eau De Cologne by Chanel, is definitely a better improved version of that, because it has that blueprint of Chanel, which is that harsh, metallic-y type of coldness to the fragrance. And it's going to add the very nice warm elements to it as well, while still preserving the Chanel heritage and DNA. So it's a very nice cologne. I will say that. It's very Chanel. I mean, it makes sense for the brand to launch this fragrance. Now, where it kind of differs for me mentally is that they are charging, I think it's like $50 less or $25 less for this fragrance over the other Les Exclusifs. Now, the other Les Exclusifs themselves are going to be Eau de Parfums. So in theory, they're going to last a little bit longer. I don't know if they actually do or not, but this fragrance itself, the Eau de Cologne, is not really good lasting. So it's going to last you maybe 2 to 3 hours, which is typical of a cologne itself. So it's not, bad quality by any means. But what I'm saying is, for the price point, you guys, for the price point of this fragrance, we are going to pay $400 for this size for a fragrance that lasts, 2 to 3 hours at best. And that is bonkers to me. I mean, at this point, they should slash the price in half and give you a better deal for the fragrance, because obviously it is a nice fragrance. I think a lot of people would love this one. It would be very popular if they reduced the price itself. But I get it. It's also part of the Les Exclusifs collection. They're not trying to cheapen that name itself, but this could be the gateway drug to the rest of the Les Exclusifs collection. Now, if you have this fragrance, you probably know what I'm talking about here next. When you first spray this fragrance, I'm sorry to say this, it has a very rude opening. So what I mean by that is that the actual fragrance, I spray it onto myself or onto a card, onto a blotter card here, and I don't know, it has a very sharp kind of vinegary type of opening. What it comes off as, I know people are going to be like, what is he talking about? It literally comes off as if you guys have ever smelled jalapenos that are cut, for nachos, and they come in these little glass jars. If you open that up, there's a very particular smell that comes out of those jars, because it's jalapenos, it's vinegars, it's spices in there. That's what I get in this fragrance. And I don't know, it's maybe the spices in here that cause that to happen, mixed with the very citric elements, because obviously there's citric acid in those jars of, jalapenos, but I'm not sure. It does dissipate, it does go away fairly quickly, so you're not going to walk around smelling like a bag of nachos, but it does, start off that way, and then it goes away very quickly and becomes a very beautiful neroli and musk cologne, mixed with some spices and some citric elements. So do I recommend this fragrance? Do I recommend Eau de Cologne? For the smell, Yes, the smell is nice. It's a nice cologne. It's not anything that's going to revolutionize the market by any means. So if you're looking for a cologne like this, I would definitely say to try or check out the Acqua di Parma Colonia, the original one, because it's very similar to this in its aspects. But if you want something a little bit more refined, more modern, I would say to check out Colonia Pura or Colonia Absoluta. Those are very two nice fragrances that you might like if you like this fragrance itself because it's in the same family of fragrances. Obviously, it's done a little bit differently, but it's the same type of fragrance nonetheless. And if you're saying if this fragrance is a really great purchase and it's going to be revolutionary, it's going to, really add something to your collection, I probably have to say no, you guys. I'm just trying to be transparent with you. And this one itself, I don't think it's really worth the money. It's really expensive for what it is essentially. Colognes are typically marked down cheaper than their actual counterparts like Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfums, Pure Parfums, Elixirs, Parfum extraits, and all those are actually more expensive as they get more concentrated. And this one should be the same. And I think $25, $50 is not enough for what you're going to get out of this fragrance. And if you really like this fragrance, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean about it. I do like the scent. It smells delicious. It smells very nice once it dries down, but you're kind of getting ripped off with Chanel, you guys. And I typically don't say that because I do love the other Les Exclusifs in this range, and I wish I got these in this size, but they are very expensive, obviously. But if you like this fragrance, like I said, don't take it personally. I do like it myself as well. Would I repurchase it, brand new at the Chanel boutique? Probably not because it's a little bit much on the money side. So what do you guys think about this fragrance? Let me know down in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Have you tried it? Have you not tried it? Which one of the Les Exclusifs from the House of Chanel is your favorite one? Let me know all of that down below. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Until next time, take care.